Making your service company stand out in what you may think is a crowded room really isn't that difficult. We're going to explore how to do that today. From processes and culture, branding, marketing, yes, even your competition, and investing in yourself will immediately give you the boost that you need to be the top selection for your customers. Want to know more? Come on, let's learn something new today. Hey y'all, I'm so glad you're here. This is Ladies Kickin' Ass, a helpful and encouraging podcast for women who work in or support the home service and skilled trades industries. My name is Tanya Wilson, and I'm passionate about encouraging women to break into this industry, stand up in their roles if they're already here, tell their stories of badassery, and provide coaching, encouragement, industry secrets, and business hacks that I've personally used in my own companies to help you build and scale the service business of your dreams. But we can't talk hustle without addressing the bustle, and that means most of us are trying to do a million things at once. Like juggling being an entrepreneur, raising a family, being a partner, wife, sister, friend, soccer mom, doggy mom, and all those other titles that we love. It's all on the table here. We discuss the wins, the losses, marketing, momming, business development, relationships, and above it all, loving and believing in yourself. I'm on a mission to build a community of women that are supporting and celebrating the fact that most of us don't have our shit together, and that's okay. But together, with great support, we can do it all. Come on, let's do this. Welcome to the Ladies Kickin' Ass podcast. So today I want to explore 6 different ways that you can immediately implement inside of your business to make yourself stand out from the crowd. I know a lot of times when people go in or start a home service or skilled trades business, they're like, well, there's already like 15 plumbers in this town, or there's already 10 electricians in this town, or who needs another landscaper or another home cleaner or, another welding company. Everybody does. And if you live in an area that is growing, I live right outside of Phoenix, Arizona. The growth here is absolutely insane. A lot of times people think, well, how can I stand out from the crowd? How can I get people to consider me to give them, to get the business? Why should they pick me over someone else? And it's truly understanding the assets that you have in your business and how to promote those to your customers that will make you stand out in a crowded space. It's no secret that the home service industry is quite a crowded space. How many of those people actually are in it for the long haul, though? Many times people will come into a business because they worked for another service company and they're like, I could do that myself. Well, yeah, you're really great at doing the work yourself, but there's so much more to that in running a business. And so it's making sure that that is set up properly from the beginning so that you continue to be able to grow and eventually scale your business to really be a big player inside of the market. I'll tell you, with my service companies that I have, we're definitely not the biggest people in town, but we have incredible reviews. We have incredible education pieces. We have an incredible team, and it's about putting the pieces together in the right spot at the right time, growing at the right speed to be able to really put the pressure on the industry to elevate to the standards of how you are developing your business. It's also no secret in the home service industry that many times homeowners are a little skeptical of all of us. Perhaps they've been burned before by another home service company and now they're a little jaded when it comes to hiring us. There's a stigma with the technicians and the people that own these companies that they rip people off because people don't understand what services they actually need. So they try to upsell and they try to do those things. Make sure your company's not like that. I would write down, the things that you don't want your company to be just as much as all the things that you want your company to be, because it really does truly help shape the value statement of your company. Like, what will we tolerate? What will we not tolerate? What are our goals? What are not our goals? I know personally in my businesses, my goal is to build an incredible team that will take care of my customers. So, me as the business owner, my goal is not to focus on my customers. My goal is to focus on my team. When you focus on your team, they take care of your customers. And a lot of times that gets flip flopped in the home service industry. And people pay more attention, or owners, I should say, pay more attention to the customers and the money coming in than they actually do in creating a great work culture and environment for their employees. So, I want to go over 6 things today that I know you can implement or at least start dreaming about and writing down goals to achieve these areas that will help you stand out in the crowd. Number 1 being processes, procedures, and processes. I'm sure you guys, if you listen to me on a weekly basis, you're probably like, okay, Tanya, we get it. We get that you need to have processes. I can't stress enough how much and how important the processes and procedures are inside of your company. And if you are a newer company, setting these up from the beginning, even though you think maybe you're a solopreneur and you're doing this yourself, but you think, I don't need to write this down and I don't need to make procedures because I'm the only one that does this. Trust me, you will get to a place where you will hire someone and you will have wished you would have written all of this stuff down to begin with. It will be a training process with no policies or procedures put together. And now you're like recreating the wheel with somebody else that you could have easily just passed on to someone. So, from the beginning, if you are new, start implementing these now. If you've been in business for a while and you're like, oh crap, we don't have those, you are not alone. I've had to go back myself and recreate some of these things. That's why I'm so passionate about you newbies, starting that from the beginning. But processes and policies can be something as simple as your value statement. Like, who are you as a company and what do you stand for and how do you do your work on a daily basis? Talking about the consistency of the work that is done and what the acceptable tolerances for getting jobs completed and things like that. The processes inside of your office is so incredibly important. Make sure that you have a bookkeeping software set up right from the beginning. Business bank account, business recording of everything. Quickbooks Online is a fantastic one. I know Xero is out there. Honeybooks is another one. I personally use QuickBooks Online. It works great for what we need to have for that. You also don't want to use a software or set up a software that is like the hard copy or like the hard copy software of QuickBooks. Because even if you're doing all the books yourself now, you are eventually going to get to a place where you're going to need and want to have a bookkeeper. Having an online platform to start with or transitioning to that as soon as possible would be my greatest advice for you, because it's very simple real-time information that is going back and forth between yourself and whether you hire a bookkeeper internally, but most people outsource that until they get large enough that they can sustain the payroll for that. Another thing that the home service industry needs to have is they need to have a customer management system. That can be an acronym called a CMS. So very important. Get rid of your paper. And what I mean by that is stop handwriting invoices and start looking like a professional company in the year 2021. I am part of a lot of Facebook groups for home service companies. And in some industries, I see questions like, where can I get invoices printed with my business name or logo in color? And I'm like, is this a real post? Was this seriously just posted today? Because in today's day and age, please get something that is electronic. Your technicians will love you, your office will love you. Stop duplicating your work in having people handwrite stuff that has to then be put into the computer. All of this can be done right from the beginning. There are many different programs out there that you can use to do that stuff. I highly recommend Housecall Pro if you are just starting out in this. We personally use that for both of our businesses, and it works fantastic. You can invoice from there. You can send text message reminders to your customers. You can send text messages that you're on your way to their house. You can let them know that the job is finished. You can take photos inside of there. So every job you have has documentation, photos, everything you need to back up your work to make sure that you are doing a good job by your customers. This is not an expensive thing for you to do, and it's not a daunting thing to do. I know there are much larger and different kinds of customer management systems. Jobber is one, Service Titan is one if you're in those specific industries. Some of those may be a little daunting and overwhelming for you at first. Start with something simple if you haven't transitioned to this yet. Again, I would highly recommend Housecall Pro. I don't get anything for telling you that. I just love it, and I think they're great. They have great support. They have great everything. You can also integrate your QuickBooks that way with them. So making sure that your processes all sync properly together to eliminate dual work is also so very important. Over communication. And what I mean by that is if you aim to over communicate, you will communicate. And that means between you in the office and you and your technicians and the technicians to the office and whoever to your customers. It is better to aim to over communicate and fall in the communication than to shoot for communicate and fall short on communication. I hope that makes sense. We want to make sure that we are letting our customers know every step of the way of what we are doing with their jobs. They appreciate that. I have never had a customer ever tell me, you communicate with me too much, please stop. People want to know what's going on, especially if you own a home service company where you may have a larger job. Sometimes when we do our installation services, those things can range anywhere from like 1 month to 3 months long. You've got to be able to keep them in the know and let them know what they're doing every step of the way. That will make you alone stand out from your competition. Because I look at the Phoenix, Arizona market and I look at the way people are still archaically doing business on paper and only in phone calls and no emails or text messages or any other forms of communication. They've got to get with the now to be able to keep up with you. So if you will implement even these two little tiny strategies of a CMS system and over communicating to your customers, you will immediately start standing out from a crowded space. The second thing I want to talk about is the culture of your business. I know I talk about this all the time, but I am so passionate about making sure that you are raising a good culture and that you are grooming a good culture inside of your business. A happy employee takes care of customers. If you, as the business owner or manager or key player in this business, focus on your people instead of focusing on your customers, your people will take care of your customers. Rarely will you have an instance where you even need to step in with these customers. And that should be a flattering thing for you. I know I hear often that people get intimidated by the fact that maybe people in the business don't need them to do the day-to-days of everything. If you are an owner of a service company, it is your job to work yourself out of a job. And what I mean by that is making sure that you are selecting correct people to come in and run your company so that you can provide the oversight and you can provide the goal setting and dreaming and working on the business instead of in the business, which we also talk about a lot. Having that great team environment will also inspire your employees or your team members to work with each other before they ever have to come and talk to you about anything. Give them the autonomy to be able to make decisions. Don't make them feel like they have to come and run every little tiny thing past you. Also, with your team, make sure you're clear about your expectations in the way that they do things or what they are responsible for. You would be surprised how many times I hear people say, "Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that." Or business owners saying, "Well, it was in the job paperwork that they signed when they came on board. They were so damn nervous when they were filling all that stuff out or giddy or excited. They don't remember what they were reading on that." Don't hold people accountable to stuff that you haven't had constant conversations with them about. And if they are not being responsible for those things, then it is your job as their boss and the owner of the company to have that conversation. Reprimanding and having a conversation are two very different things. I look at this from a me perspective of, would I want to be coached or would I want to be disciplined? And which one of these is actually going to get me more bang for my buck? I don't really discipline anybody on my team. I haven't had to. If it came down to the point that something egregious happened that we couldn't figure out, of course that would come into play. But I don't have to do that with my team. Do I coach my team? Absolutely, because there are things that fall short or things that I need them to start picking up or additional responsibilities that I give to them that they need to be coached through. And that is your job to be able to do that. And that's what I mean by working yourself out of a job. Make sure you have the time to be able to do those things properly. Don't be so busy in the monotony of the day-to-day work that you forget to be that umbrella for everybody at this company. The third thing I want to talk about is branding. Branding is so incredibly important. And I think, and I see this more often, that more people are starting to understand this. Branding is not just your marketing. Branding is not just what your trucks look like. Branding is not just your logo. Again, branding is not just your logo. I know people get hung up in that, and that's what they think it is, that's your brand. Your branding is how you feel. It's who you are. What does your brand say about you? Now, this could include your fleet. And it's not necessarily what the logo is that's slapped on the side of your trucks. It's how clean are your trucks? How clean are your technicians? How clean is your equipment? Do you have new equipment that's not going to break down in the middle of a job? Do you present yourself through your online channels as someone that has knowledge in the industry, or are you just out there to make a buck off of a service call? Are you giving as much as you are getting? Are you giving more than what you're actually getting? Because I promise you, if you will continue to give and give and give, that comes back tenfold. Sometimes you don't see that immediately and you have to be patient, but that is the foundation of branding. You want to be and establish yourself as the knowledgeable person to go to in the industry. I can't tell you how many times we get phone calls at our office here that we literally just talk to people about their septic systems, and they ask us questions about, what do I do with this? And what is this? And what does this mean? And what does this mean? And we send them documents that we have that's best maintenance practices for their systems and answer any questions that they might have about potentially remodeling and upsizing and doing different things. We might not get a sale right off of that to start with. And everyone in the company understands that, but it is a grooming tool to be able to get a customer in the future. And even if they don't end up using us, their neighbors are probably on the same systems that they are. So they may say, you know what, I called and talked to this company and they were so helpful. You should definitely give them a call. In fact, in that area there, we have received a review on Google before that said, I've never used this company, but my neighbor just keeps raving about how incredible the guys were and the ladies in the office, and I would highly recommend them to anyone that needs to use their service. Jaw drop. Like, those are the dream reviews that you get from somebody. This person took time out of their day without ever even paying us $1 to leave us a review. That is building a beautiful brand that you can be happy and share. Branding needs to be unique. Don't copy somebody else's idea. I look at this in like the plumbing industry, that you like drive down the road and you'll see all these like cartoon character people on the side of a plumbing van. Cartoon character on the side of a plumbing van instantly kind of makes me be like, huh, that kind of looks like the last one that I had and the last one that I saw. What is something that makes you really stand out? I know there is a plumbing company here in town that's called Knockout Plumbing, and their vans look awesome. They look super badass. They look tough. They look like they're out to do a job. And that is the difference in setting yourself brand-wise, brand recognition, what people translate that brand to be. So be very cautious of that when you're creating yours or revamping it if you are already in business and you're looking to change things up a bit. Number 4 is marketing. Now, this kind of ties in with branding because you have to have a great brand for you to be able to market it. Otherwise, you're just marketing the same service as the other 6 companies that are in your same town. Marketing is strategic. Marketing should never be, let's get these 5 ideas, throw them against the wall like a cup of spaghetti and see which one sticks. You have to do some research, and there is great strategery, if you will, in marketing. You have to look for opportunities. What is a great opportunity for you to capitalize on that potentially someone else in the market is not? This can be looking in different places to advertise where maybe your competition isn't advertising. This is going to networking meetings where maybe a lot of people in your industry, like, they're at work all day. They don't want to go do that stuff. This is where you can go and you can stand out in a crowded space. Find Chamber of Commerce meetings, find local networking groups. I know there's one that's worldwide that I participated in for a while that's called BNI. Check out the local BNI chapters. Check out Rotary clubs. There's so many places for you to be able to go and do these things. If you're a home service provider, you probably at some point will work with a real estate company. Those are great referrals. And if you do a great job for them, they're also one of those kinds of customers that will use you again and again and again. So you can get repeat business. That's a very good customer acquisition because you're actually going to make more money off of someone that is going to repeatedly use you than somebody that is just only going to use you once. If you are a service like our septic company, these people are only going to need us every, 2 to 5 years, depending upon what kind of systems they have. So how can we make a good impression to, one, get a great review out of them that other people will read and use those people as a marketing tool or for future potential customers, which is a great thing to be able to do. And how can we turn those jobs into potential social media postings and different things like that? This is where it comes down to training your team. My team takes pictures and they upload it through our CMS system, through Housecall Pro, every job they go to. I have also tasked an office assistant with pulling those pictures off and categorizing them in photo folders in a Dropbox that we use, which is a shared file drive area. So when I go in to create social media posts, or if anyone in my company goes in to create social media posts, we have immediate photos of our own stuff that we can use. So we're not using stock photos and we're not doing any of that stuff. And we can use that for social media posting. So you can see here as I go down this list how all of these things are starting to work together with each other. So if you implement these things, you're getting more than what it just is at face value. There's always more than one way to be seen and use what's going on in your business for multiple different things. You can use some of the photos for the service that you just went out to do to build advertisements. And it's not some quirky, stupid stock photo that everybody else is using. Use the stuff for your team. If you have a website and you have it built with stock photos and not your own team members and not your own people and not businesses in your community, stop immediately and pay super attention to that and get that changed right away. You will instantly get more credibility with anyone that is on or visiting your website or considering to purchase a service from you when you are authentic and using your own people. Otherwise, you look like every other person out there that's doing the same thing. Be proud of who you are and the services that you offer and use those things in your marketing. Marketing is also about telling the story of your company. Your company is so much more than providing junk removal or providing landscaping service or providing cleaning houses. Who are the people that run this company? What do their families look like? What do they do? What do they enjoy when they're not at work? Who are the people that shape this company? What are they proud of? I love to make posts about my team members that I have at my company. Do a behind the scenes of what actually happens, or if you have equipment, show them how it works in a quick little video or Facebook Live. There's so many things that you can do to stand out from the crowd. I will tell you, if you're considering using social media, which I highly recommend, one, because you never know who's going to see it. Two, because everybody is on it. And three, and most importantly, it's free. It's free, 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 free. Post your little hearts out. A lot of times I hear from people that I have worked with in home service industries, I don't want to overcrowd people's feeds. I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to post too much. I'll tell you what, let's say you've got 1,000 followers on Facebook, which would be really good for you. If you've got 1,000 followers on Facebook, probably about 5% of those people are actually seeing your posts. And I need you to understand that they can always go unfollow you if they think that you are becoming too annoying. But if you are providing value in your posts and not being a contractor that goes to the job and says, oh, look, here's another picture of Joe framing the house, people get sick of that stuff. If you're introducing who Joe is and you're talking about Joe's education and why he does, what is Joe's why for coming and working at your company, you are going to resonate with people so much more. I look at the stuff, even like what my daughter watches on TikTok and things like that. They will follow companies because they think it's cool how they're telling their brand stories. People are starting to identify with these brand stories and they will hire the people. They want to hire the people. There's 10 guys that does the same service, but they want to hire these people because these people are awesome. Even before my daughter got her braces on, she was like watching all of these like funny orthodontists that have TikTok channels that was telling them all of these different fun and creative ways to not break brackets or how to clean their braces properly or how to do all this stuff. They made it fun and they made it informative and they were providing value. So even if it's not something that you think that your customers will do, try it. Just try it. If it doesn't work, you can always try something new. But keep your marketing fresh and keep it real and authentic by making sure that it's all about you and not some phony stock images that you found on Adobe Stock or something. Or worse yet, copied and pasted off of Google. Number 5, stop worrying about your pricing in comparison to your competitors. And in an overall statement, I would say stop worrying about your competitors and start using them to your advantage. What I mean by that is sit down and do an audit of who your competitors are. They don't have to be bigger than you, they could be smaller than you, they can be in the same service area as you. Write down the things that you like about your competitors, write down the things that you don't like about your competitors. This will help you put together processes and culture expectations for your own company if you haven't done so yet. Also, don't be so worried about the price. If you will implement outstanding customer service, if you have 100 plus reviews on Google that are 4.5 or above, if you spend the time and listen to the customer's needs and provide great value and service inside of your customer service team inside of your office, you can charge more. You should charge more. A fallacy in this home service industry is that I have to be the cheapest person. Well, I'm a little bit more expensive than them. I have heard people talk themselves out of a job by literally saying, well, I'm not going to be as cheap as this guy, but this is what my price is. You don't have to say any of that shit to people. Don't over-explain your price. If you have given good service up to the point that you give a price, stand by that price and be proud of it. If you are not confident in your pricing strategy, you need to find a way to get there. It is either because you don't think that you're providing enough value for that price, or you're scared of your competition. And if you're scared of your competition, you need to just get over that now, and you need to figure out how to leverage your competition. One, it is a healthy understanding that there is enough or more work to go around for everyone. If there's somebody that's getting into the septic industry and they want to partner up with us, and maybe if you guys have some extra work or something like that, I'm super more apt to give them that work. One, they've stuck their neck out to come and talk to their competition about potentially taking even some of our work and starting their own business and asking for referrals for those things. Let's see how well you work. Let's work together. You should never view your competition as the enemy. Ever. Use it to your advantage. Partner with people that are in the same industry as you and flip work back and forth to each other. We have several companies that we do that with. Or if they're outside of our service area, get to know the workmanship of those people that are outside of your service area. So when people call and they say, hey, I have this job, but I live in Tonopah, Arizona. And I'm like, oh, well, that's 70 miles away from me. I can't help you. Sorry, we don't go to that area. Click, you're done. Or you could say, I'm sorry, that's outside of our service area, but we have a fantastic company out that way that we refer all of our work to. Would you like their name and phone number? Even better if you've got a couple of them you can refer to. People will call back and say, oh, Thank you so much. We've even had people that have called those other two companies and called us back and again thanked us for the referral for that. They don't know who to call. They don't know what people's service areas look like. They just know that it popped up on Google and that they need that service. Build your network. Even if it's somebody, we don't drill wells, we don't inspect water wells, but we have a relationship with a company that we refer that out to all the time because we work with real estate agents and they don't know who to call. So they've already had a great experience with us. So they say, hey, do you happen to know anybody that does well inspections as well? um, yeah, actually, we do. And this is the company's name, and we refer them out. I don't expect to get anything back from that other than them to refer to me when we do those things and make sure that those people know that you're referring them. Find out who the owner of that business is if you don't already know, and let them know, hey, you're our top referral source. We do septic inspections too, so we'd really love for a referral to come back if you ever get the opportunity to do so. We'd love to service the customers. Simply reaching out and making those conversations with competition or even other professionals in the home service network is hugely beneficial for your customer because that is providing more value. Those are the things that I'm talking about. And last, but certainly not least, I think this one is probably one of the more important ones here, is invest in yourself as the owner or manager of this business and get yourself a business coach. I say this because this was the biggest switch for me in growing my companies. You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know who you need, and you don't know really what the hell you're doing when you start a business if this is your first business you've ever started. And that's okay because we don't know what we don't know. But having a mentor and having someone that holds you accountable to goals that you set within your business or giving you insight on different ways of doing things, someone that has already been in these places before that you're finding yourself now getting into, whether that's starting a business, find a coach or a mentor of some sort that you can talk to about questions about getting your QuickBooks set up, getting your CMS set up. How do you set up your communication channels? How did you design your value statement? Simple things like that. Find somebody that's already been there that's willing to help you. A lot of times you'll hear, if you're at all in professional development or personal development, they'll say, oh, get a mentor, get a mentor, get a mentor. Okay, sometimes you got to pay for a mentor. I pay for my mentors, and it is the best money that I spend all month long because they have helped me get out of my own damn way. Many times as business owners, that is our biggest problem right there, is that we can't get out of our own way. We have that first time mama syndrome of no one can take care of my baby the way that I can. No one is going to care as much as I do. That is true to an extent. But when you train them properly, they will learn and want to care about this business just as much as you do because you've made them become part of the foundation of this business. They are the top thing, your top priority. They will want to make you proud. They will want to be part of something that is growing and is seeing success. You know why? Because they get to celebrate that stuff with you. So make sure that you incorporate your team and make sure that you get a coach that will teach you how to do this stuff. Even if you think that you know how to do this stuff, sometimes being an entrepreneur can be quite a lonely process. You may feel like you're in this all by yourself. There's no one that you have to talk to. You're trying to figure it all out on your own. You've now been told you've got to build a website. You have no idea how to build a website or how to do social media marketing. That is what Ladies Kicking Ass is for. This is why this community exists. If you have not already gotten into our community on Facebook, please find us on there. Go into the search, type in Ladies Kicking Ass. You can go to groups/Ladies Kicking A, because they wouldn't let me put ass in it. Find us. We are that group of people to help you through this stuff. There is amazing women in this group that are more than happy to mentor and help you achieve your biggest goals and dreams with your business. So again, last but certainly not least, invest in yourself and get yourself a coach. If you can't seem to find the funds for this at this point to do that, if you decide to go the personal business coach route, join our community. It's free. We're here to help. And ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You can't get somewhere if you don't ask for help. I'm talking about this from a super passionate position because that was my biggest fault for a very long time until I actually invested in a business coach. Once you invest in that, or even if you just start investing in personal development stuff, look for podcasts. Look for podcasts like this. If you need a list of podcasts that you can listen to get inspired to be kick-ass at your business, please email me, Tanya@ladieskickingass.com. I will send you a complete list of all of the stuff that I listen to that I've learned how to do all of this stuff from. There's so much free information now between Clubhouse and podcasts and YouTube. And there's tons of very inexpensive or cost-effective courses online that you can take to teach you how to do the things that you want to do in your business. I highly recommend that. Starting to work on yourself and starting to be more open to things that you can do in your business by being more open yourself will allow you to build this wildly successful, beautiful branded business that will stand out in the crowded home service space. If you need to run any ideas past us with the community, post them inside of there. You're free to post whatever you want. If you're looking at colors, if you're looking at logos, if you're looking at different ways of telling your brand story, please post them and let's work together as a community to be able to help each other out. I'm always in there. I will always answer whatever is in there and however I can help you. But again, make sure that you take these 6 ways we have talked about today and start finding a way to implement them into your business. I know it's a lot of information. If this is info overload, take 1. Start with culture or processes. Work from there. Develop an incredible brand. That is something that develops over time. You don't just start a company, this is our brand. It will evolve. Marketing is always evolving, but make sure that you're showing up. Use that competition as your leverage to be better or to partner with, and invest in yourself. Mama, you're worth everything in the world. I know that you've got a ton of stuff on your plate. I know that you've probably got kids back in school and we're doing homework and this and that and everything else. The purpose of this podcast today is not to overwhelm you, but it is to inspire you to put things in place to make your life easier. Yes, it's going to be a hell of a lot of work to start with, but I promise you, if you will implement these 6 things that we've discussed about today, you will find more time in your own schedule to work on not only your business, but yourself. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Ladies Kickin' Ass podcast. I would love to invite you to become part of our exclusive community on Facebook groups. There is so much value there in inspiring you to chase your goals and coaching you on how to get there. Plus, you get the support of other women from across the world who have also joined. You can also find us all over social media and at our website, ladieskickingass.com. All social media platform links are in the show notes below, so we've made it nice and easy for you. Be sure to join so you are the first to hear about exciting programs and announcements that we have coming up. And ladies, there's some good stuff. And never miss a notification for an exciting new podcast episode release. If you yourself are a lady that is kicking some serious ass and you have an awesome story that you would love to share with our audience about running your business while raising your family and becoming the woman of your dreams, I want to talk to you. Check out our website at ladieskickingass.com/podcast, where you can apply to be a guest on our show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Tell me what you think of it with a rating and share this episode with anyone you think it may inspire or help. Have a great week, and I'll see you back here next Friday. Bye for now.